Oh my God, please kill me. What's up guys? Monday morning, the 2nd of December, the second day of summer, and it's already 36 degrees. Like, that is making me sweat. Another thing today that has made me sweat is trying to get a fucking Gold Coast half marathon ticket when the website crashes 15 times after I've already put my card details into the website. Just buy more server space. How hard is it? Anyway, you guys asked and I'm gonna deliver today unless my camera brutally overheats in the Australian heat. But we're talking about runner's knee. Knee pain when running. Let's do it. Now the knee joint is so unstable. I think it gets probably like 70% of its stability from the muscle and the fascia itself rather than the actual joint. Think about this. The tibia and the femur sit on top of each other like this. It's like incredibly unstable. It's terrible. It's basically like an upside down pendulum, like incredibly unstable, and that's why people's knees get fucked up. Now when you're running, these muscles that are giving you all this stability are doing different things. So on the front of this knee, the quad muscles are eccentrically loading as you put your foot on the ground to make sure that you are slowing yourself down. And then further into the stride, the muscles on the back of your knee are pulling and getting that hip extension and knee flexion to clear that leg out of the way and give you some power to move down that road. So where is this all going wrong? Well, I like to split this up into deep structures and superficial structures for the knee because otherwise it becomes such a muddled mess. So basically anything inside the joint like meniscus or ligamentous damage or cartilage or osteoarthritis, all those kinds of things are going to be inside the joint and they're going to feel like a deep ache. They're probably going to respond really negatively to twisting and things like that when you are running or, fall off a curb a little bit. Those kinds of things are going to be damaged. And so if you're having this deep knee pain inside the joint, potentially what you need to do is just take a bit of time off and let this inflammatory process calm back down. Maybe even going and seeing a doctor to get objectively assessed, that's right. See if there's something that actually is going wrong inside that knee and if the doctor can actually help you with that and put you in the right direction as to where you need to go, whether it's a conservative management or maybe you need some surgery because your meniscus is flapping around inside your knee or something like that. I don't know. So now that we've got all that stuff out of the way, let's split the superficial structures into front, side, and back, because then we can kind of work our way through them when we actually go through the treatment process. Okay, so let's start with the front of the knee. There's basically a couple of different issues that could happen in this area. So I'll show you. So the three most common areas of pain on the front of the knee are gonna be in the tendon below the kneecap, pain at the kneecap, and in the tendon above the kneecap. These are the three main pain drivers through the front of the knee, and they differ slightly in how you actually treat them and approach them. And so really quickly, below the knee, if you get pain in the tendon on a very specific point on the tendon, then that's going to be a tendon issue. If you're getting generalized swelling around and underneath the tendon in this kind of little hollow here, that might be a little bit of fat pad impingement, and that's going to be a straight up rest period just to let that calm back down. But that's an easy one. I'll just chuck that on the board after. The tendon issue is going to be quite annoying depending on the type of tendon pathology. Now, if your pain is on the kneecap itself or feeling like it's underneath the kneecap itself, then that's going to be what people call patellofemoral pain syndrome. Patella meaning the kneecap, femoral meaning the femur, pain syndrome. It basically is a fancy word for knee pain. It actually drives me insane that people can come to a physio or a doctor and say, I have knee pain, and the doctor and physio come back and they say, yeah, you have what equates to knee pain. They already knew that. It doesn't actually help anything. But anyway, rant over. Okay, so this patellofemoral pain syndrome generally is a rubbing or a sensitization of the surface on the other side of the patella that rubs on this little femoral condyle, this little hollow that it sits in. And that can start to be a big pain driver. Now, I know for a fact that this patella issue can be quite aggravating and so sore. So what I would suggest is, on your own, check your range of motion and your strength at your hip and see if, when you're standing on one leg and doing single leg movements, whether your knee tracks quite well or whether it's kind of wiggly and all over the place. You might have a patella tracking issue or a knee tracking issue that's causing the outside of this femoral condyle to rub against this patella, which could be really fucking painful. So the main treatment approach for this is going to be strengthening and improving hip mobility, and then also monitoring the motor control that you have through your foot, knee and ankle, and foot, knee and ankle, foot, knee and hip, to make sure that you're actually tracking well. Because if you have, you know, a wiggly knee that kind of is really all over the place, this is going to cause this weird maltracking of your patella. Okay, let's talk about the sides of the knee. We'll go with the outside first. If your pain is in this band of tissue that connects just below your knee and then travels above your knee and on the side of your leg, this is likely also to be like a patella issue. And so doing the same treatment approach of going and addressing the hip range and strength is going to be really important. Like I mentioned before, the knee actually is controlled by the hip strength and mobility. So improving our hip mobility is going to really help with the knee, because this big structure of connective tissue attaches up into the hip muscles. Fun fact, you guys are the smartest group after watching these like injury videos of any other YouTube channel. That is for sure. Okay, now for the inside of the knee. If you're getting pain from twisting and things like that, and that was the mechanism that brought this pain on, go see your doctor. It's probably a ligamentous issue, and it can be really confusing when you have knee pain on the inside. But let's carry on. Now on the inside of the knee, we do have a lot of muscles that come and attach to the inside of the knee, all of which are tendons. And once again, can be really nasty when they're flared up. And so all of these are tendons that can get pain at that site of the actual tendon itself in a very specific point. Remember, tendons are very specific points of pain. Okay, now let's go to the back. Here, basically there's 3 big fat tendons that help us when we're running, and they can be big pain drivers. So once again, the pain's going to be at specific points along that tendon, like here, right on that rec fem, or on the inside, it's going to be in the tendinosus or semimembranosus. And like I said, if you've got a tendon issue and you think it is a tendon, we're going to talk about the tendon protocol for each of these different tendons later in the video. Tendon. And I will just say that if you have pain in the back of your knee, and it feels like the further that you push into the back of that knee, the sorer it gets, just make sure that this is not a deep structure. What I've done is I've grouped everything into like an acute phase of rehab and then a sport specific return to sport phase of rehab. So that way it's going to feel like, you know, you do something very specific for whatever injury you have, and then once you graduate through that, you get back into some sport specific stuff. Okay, my camera's telling me that I need to get out of this fucking sun because it's about to overheat. So I'm going to do the rest of this video later in the day. Peace. This is typical Adelaide weather. It was 35 degrees today, and now it's 35 degrees and raining. What the fuck?